Okay, so we're doing a little bit of experimenting. Kita and I are trying to entertain the idea of doing the digital nomad thing. So we're not doing it yet. I still have about a year left to go. And I think, some of this seems like very ideal, given that it's like summertime. And I can imagine just being out here on a nice day. It's nice and warm. It's like 70 degrees outside, not raining. And it's just kind of easier to move around and take public transportation, not worry about carrying a bunch of clothing. Like, I'm probably already wearing too much clothing right now. It's a little too heavy for this weather. But I don't have to worry about that. I can take clothes off. It just seems really simple. And I'm trying to be thinking it through. Like, I'm balancing between like thinking too much and trying to plan for every little detail, and also still being realistic and thinking it through of like, okay, what would it really look like to be like a digital nomad, to be a professional that works predominantly online, and also take care of my cat and make sure she lives the best life possible. And of course, the part of the idea is to save some money, so I can invest in bigger things and also just invest my money in general. So part of this, I don't think I mentioned in a previous video, is that like I'm trying to break a cycle, financially speaking, whereas my family are decent earners. They know how to bring money in, but we haven't collectively been able to save a lot of money. We have virtually no experience investing any money, except for my cousin. And the very little that he's taught me about this, like foundational stuff, because I'm not really going to classes for this kind of thing, have helped me tremendously. Just being able to invest some of my money into mutual funds, which I had no concept of like a decade ago, was able to save me enough money so I could actually move out here to St. Louis and help pay for my living expenses while going to school here. And, now I want to be able to save more money, invest more money, now that I'm coming to the end of my academic career. Well, not really career, like my academic life as a student, even though I've come back and forth between professional life and school life. But now we're done for real. Like PhD, we're done after this year is done. And I'm just kind of thinking like, okay, how can I make the most of my time when I graduate? Because I don't want to jump into like trying to start a family right away, trying to get a house and a car, and take on all this additional debt, in addition to my school debt, which I think is more typical of other, not just like my family, but just poor people in general. We have this like expectation that after we've worked so hard that we've earned it, so we should be able to just have nice things. And I probably could get a decent job, get a good salary, and be able to pay for those things, but it would be very slim margins, and I wouldn't be able to save a lot and invest a lot. And I'd like to be able to like play a little catch up and save as much as I can and invest as much as I can, with medium to low risk. I'm not really going to take the time to get into individual stocks, be more of the mutual funds area. And also want to start a private practice. And, it's not so easy to start a private practice if you are trying to pay for a lot for your personal life and trying to invest in your business and also trying to get bank loans and more debt and all that stuff. I'd like to minimize that as much as possible. But I also want to be realistic. Like, how am I going to really do that? I don't really have somewhere to go where I can just be like, hey, I'm going to stay here for a couple of years and just save a bunch of money. So the next best thing is why I think about this digital nomad stuff. Which also, a lot of ways can cost money, but I think in the grand scheme of things would save me a lot of money compared to like if I got a apartment or a condo in the city, which is also something I'd like to do. But if I got like a cheaper apartment and moved around a bit, ran my private practice, that would be pretty cool, I think. I'd enjoy that. Oh, poor baby. Did I bring anything for you? So yeah, I think part of what I need to do for this next year is, even if I'm not making much money now, I need to start building more habits being more aware of how I spend my money, reducing my expenses further, still enjoying myself. Like, I'm not going to give up everything. Like, I know you see a lot of stuff online where, like, if you're spending $5 on coffee every day, then that's why you're poor. I mean, I'm still probably going to go out for coffee at least like twice a week or something. I'm not giving that up. And the rest of the time, I can get free coffee from my apartment complex, and I can I can doll it up a little bit. I can get the basic coffee from them, add some creamer in there at home, add some raw sugar maybe, get some chocolate syrup or something, and kind of turn it into something that's more like a Starbucks coffee kind of thing, I guess. Although I don't really need that much sugar. I might be doing too much. But anyways, the point is I can save a few bucks every week. Just being a little bit more creative. And I do like making things, so that's not really a problem. I could also start cooking more. Like some obvious things that is a way to save money, but then actually doing it is another thing. Especially when things get harder and get more stressed out, which I think is more reason why it's more important to build these habits now. So if I intend to be like a digital nomad of some sort, which we're trying to form that out still, if I'm still trying to figure that out, then I should start building habits as if I'm living that life now. So I can save the money that I want to save, still think about if I'm investing it, where am I investing it to, how much am I planning to invest, what's the realistic salary I would have if somebody's working virtually. I can't count on like YouTube and donations and stuff like that. It's like legitimately like a salary that's coming in every month. How am I spending that money? Where's the money going? Yeah. I think I like where this has kind of led me to. I think my main takeaway today is to start thinking about living a life like a digital nomad, like building those little habits now while I'm not in that situation. Which I kind of am, I guess. Like my intention is to still have that small apartment that I mentioned, which I have now. It's just I'm more tied to school now, and everywhere I go is school related. So we're right next to one of the campus buildings. So I could start branching out a little bit further, going a little bit further away from campus. Finding a friend that's 10-15 minutes out, instead of asking them to pick me up or something, I go meet them there, stay with them on their couch or something, and just see how that goes. See what little things I might be forgetting to take with me. Which is not to say I've never stayed at someone else's house before, but usually I don't bring my cat with me, which can be an additional burden on them that I need to be wary of. But I do have a lot of friends that love cats, and they would probably be more likely to try to adopt her from me. Be like, hey, if you want to go travel on your own and leave Kita here, that's fine. I would not put that past them. Okay, so the main takeaway is to start building these habits, financially speaking, and also the way I live my life. I don't always have to be so attached to the campus. That's just kind of been more my comfort zone, just staying in my little academic bubble. I have more time now where I could go farther away, stay at other cafes. Again, I gotta make sure they're cat-friendly cafes. Yeah, why not? Why not?